I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I cut my teeth on wedding rings in the movies, and I'm not proud of my address.
We're not just building muscle, we're building men. In the quiet hours, in the unfiltered moments, in the conversations that happen before the world wakes up. This is the Glue-OOM, where brotherhood forms in the dark so we can lead in the light, where vulnerability is strength and leadership is handed from man to man, one story at a time. Our mission is to empower, exhort, and inspire men to achieve their best selves through stories of reinvigorated male community leadership. We bring you weekly interviews with F3 Omaha PACs, ordinary men doing extraordinary things in fitness, fellowship, faith, and leadership, because we believe that every man has a story, and reinvigoration starts when that story is shared. This is the Glue in the Gloom. Shout out to our sponsors, Avior Wealth Management, Liberty Core Real Estate, Major Team Mortgage, Exclusively Eye Care, Omaha Laser Dentistry, and McNamara Law Firm. We appreciate your support. What's it like to love your dentist? Well, you're about to find out, where healthy smiles go beyond your teeth. No drilling, no needles, and no anxiety. Relax, it's Omaha Laser Dentistry. Welcome to better. At Omaha Laser Dentistry, Dr. Bullenparty uses the Solea laser, a CO2 laser that's used in all of his day-to-day patient care. He provides thorough exams, assessments, and treatments for things like snoring, tethered tissue, and extractions like wisdom teeth, as well as other surgeries. Check him out today at omahalaserdentistry.com. Discounts may be available for F3 Omaha members. Now, let's get back to the Gloom. And we're back, or we're live. We're at the Nomad in downtown Elkhorn. I got my man Smelly Cat with me today. He actually smells really good. So
sometimes,
but man, I'm excited to get your story. I love, I've gotten to work out with you several times over the years, and have just always loved our conversations. I love, you're a guy that's kind of gone out and started his own business over the last few years. So we've got to talk about that, and excited to get your story for guys to hear. So we'd love to just have you take us back to the beginning. If you remember who EH'd you, what was that like? And then first workout, all of that sort of stuff. And then how did you get the name Smelly Cat?
Yeah. So it's interesting. So thanks for having me. I mean, this is an awesome thing you do. I was actually just listening to your and Bogey's podcast before I came in here. So
awesome.
So it's fun to listen to and listen to all the guys and everything like that. So but yeah, going back, gosh, this was like Long Neck EH'd me.
Okay.
He was my neighbor. I can say was now because he moved.
He moved, yeah.
I must stink too bad or something. I don't know. But so he moved, but I've known Long Neck for, a decade or more. You know, like he was my neighbor for quite a few years and everything. And we've done stuff together over the years. And I've known him when he was like really in shape, and then was not really in shape. And so about that time, I mean, I guess I've never really noticed like how much weight he had gained.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just see him every day, so you don't really realize. But then he had posted something I know on Facebook about just not being a good spot. And then so I'm like looking at this on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, and then me and my wife were getting together with his wife for Oktoberfest at Lucky Bucket.
Oh, yeah.
We've done it a few times and everything. And so we kind of went, and he starts talking to me about this workout he's done. I was like, oh, I see you've done something.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, tell me about it. So he starts telling me about it. Because at this point, when I saw him posting about it, I was like, oh, I need to probably start working.
Yeah.
And everything. And so he starts telling me about it. And he's like, all about like, oh yeah, it's a bunch of guys get together, and it's just a fun group of guys. And we get together in the morning, and or he didn't even say the morning, he just was telling me all about it. And I said, oh man, this sounds amazing. When does it start? And he said 5:30 in the morning. And I said, you're crazy and everything. Like right away, I was like, there's no way. I'm having a hard time getting up at like 6:30 to start getting the kids around for school.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like I struggle with that. And so I was just like, there's no way I'm getting up that early.
Mm-hmm.
Never been a morning person and everything. And so it was really funny because Monday comes around and everything. And I was like, when he's talking to me at Oktoberfest, I mean, we're having a couple drinks here and there, a couple drinks. And I mean, you sometimes things sound good when you're having a couple drinks and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Monday rolled around and he just texted and said, "Hey, I'm serious. If you want to try it out, let me know. Like, we'll go anywhere." And I just said, "Fine." And at that time, I was working a 4-day week. I was working Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
So I figured, hey, I'll go out on a Thursday because the next day is Friday and I have off.
Yeah.
I can just recover that day or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I said, where do you go on Thursdays? And he tells me, and then, I mean, actually is like right next to our house at the maze.
Oh, cool.
I mean, we lived pretty close to the maze there. So I was like, oh, that's easy. I can get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there that morning and he had told me a little bit about it, like getting a name. And, he's sent me the link to F3 and stuff like that to read about it. And I did and everything. And so I get there and it's funny because he goes, just so you know, you'll be referred to as an FNG until.
Right.
Yeah. So like I walk up and some guys are like, "Hey, what's your name?" I go, "FNG," and everything. And they're like, "No, what's your actual name?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So, get through that. And, so start at the maze, and barn door is on the queue.
Oh, wow.
And his funny thing is I found out like barn door lived like 4 or 5 houses down from us.
Okay.
And everything. So he lived on the same street as us.
But you never met him before?
Never seen him around, but never really met him. Kids kind of went to the same school and everything. I know his oldest is like, year younger than my daughter or 2 years younger than my daughter or something like that.
Okay.
And like a year older than my son. So I see him around the school and stuff like that. And it's with a lot of guys. You see people around the school, but you never totally interact and everything. So I've seen him around the neighborhood too. And so he's on the queue and that first workout, I struggled.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
barn door is known to put on a pretty brutal beatdown, I think.
And now looking back at it, I was like, actually it wasn't that hard of a workout.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I could not get through it. And it was just like two groups. One on that football field there at the maze, you're kind of like one goal line to the other and you have 2 groups of guys and you're just doing the sheet of workout and then you run down to the next one and do that workout. And then you come back, doing so many reps and everything like that. I think at that time it was only 15 reps.
Oh, okay.
Right? 15, maybe 20 reps or something. And I think we got down to one end and we were doing Merkins and I did 15 Merkins. We ran down, did a different workout, ran back, and I think it was Merkins again. And I think I got through 5.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to go on my knees.
Yeah.
Like I could not get through another one. Like I was like, and then the rest of the time I was like on my knees doing Merkins. And then after a while, like I'm like doing a Merkin and I was like, I couldn't even get down to do one. And I was just like exhausted and everything. And so we get done and we get back to the circle and I knew other the flags and I knew that name thing had to been coming because he kind of told me at the end you get a name. Like, okay. So we get back and we're doing all that. And so I get in the circle and they're like, just tell us about yourself. And at this point, like I'm so mentally and physically exhausted. Right. I can't think straight.
Right.
Right. And so I like sports. I like basketball. I like football. I like golf. Like I was like, I'm a massage therapist. And right when I said massage therapist, everyone just started throwing out names.
Yeah.
And some of them, probably not the most appropriate,
right,
and everything.
Yeah.
And you just kept hearing names like, and that was kind of like during the Deshaun Watson time with the massage therapist thing and everything. So Deshaun and Watson got thrown out there a lot. A lot of guys were on that one, but and then obviously some of the inappropriate ones and stuff like that.
I can only imagine.
And Barn Door just goes, no, we can't say that in church.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
He goes, the only thing the only thing I know about massage therapy is Phoebe from Friends.
Oh yeah.
And right when he said that, someone yelled "Smelly Cat" for her song and everything. And I don't even know who said it. I still to this day do not know who yelled it because I was just so mentally and physically exhausted. I wasn't even paying attention. And so he goes, "That's it. you're Smelly Cat. And I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I get done. I get home and my wife knew I was doing this. She thought it was kind of crazy at first, but she goes, how was it? I go, oh, I'm tired. She goes, well, what name did you get? I go, Smelly Cat. She goes, why? I was like, I don't know. I guess, because at this time I didn't catch the, like, I wasn't really comprehending the Smelly Cat and the Phoebe thing.
Yeah.
My wife was a big Friends fan. So I've known all this stuff all along. Yeah. But I didn't quite comprehend it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, why? And I go, I don't know. I guess I have clients and they stink or something like that, right? Yeah. And I was like, maybe, I don't know. And then later on in the day, my mind kind of mentally cleared. Yeah. And I texted her and I was like, it's Phoebe from Friends. That's how I got it. She goes, I was kind of wondering, like, that was the reason you got it. She goes, that kind of made more sense.
That is
everything.
Funny.
So I was like, yeah, Smelly Cat. So that's kind of how the name came about.
I love it.
And it's funny because, I mean, over the years, like, or right after I started, like, people would be like, how'd you get Smelly Cat? And I'd tell them I'm a massage therapist. They're like, I don't get it. Yeah. I'm like, well, Phoebe from Friends. They're like, I still don't get it. I was like, did you watch Friends? And they're like, no. And I said, then you don't get it. Yeah. So you got to go into it a little more. Yeah,
and if guys haven't heard, right, there's this whole song that she does.
Yeah.
Like, Smelly Cat, Cat, what are they feeding you? Yep. Which is why now when you say your name, that's the callback.
Yep, the callback. Yeah. What are they feeding you? And everything. Yeah. So that's kind of how it came all about. At first I was kind of like, Smelly Cat, really? Like, but then I mean, you just kind of embrace it.
Well, you grew into it, right? Because I feel like at the Shuffle Pass, when you got the flag for main stage, you were wearing a cat costume, right? So it must, it can't be too bad. But
that was Urkel, and Baby Shoes were like, they go, hey, we're gonna get you a cat costume. I said, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Tell us about for guys that maybe don't know, right? And I would be curious, like, your journey, like, how did you get into massage therapy? Like, was that something that you kind of found yourself doing, or how'd you get into that?
So that's always the interesting one too. I've had that question asked by tons of over the years, right? And the interesting thing is I didn't even know what massage therapy was before I started school. I heard, you saw, like, so in early 2000s, like 2000 to 2003, I graduated in 2003. I grew up in Western Nebraska, and a lot of our news channels were Colorado, like Denver or something like that. We had a couple like Western Nebraska news stations, but the main one was kind of the Denver news or whatever. Yeah. And I would always see commercials on get your career started in massage therapy. It's like the up and coming career, right? And I looked at it, never really was like, oh my gosh, that's something I want to do. Yeah. I just saw it. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And so I went to school down in Lincoln, the Southeast Community College. Okay. And I was like going there a quarter, and I was just a guy that I had no plan of what I wanted to do at all. And I was just taking classes, right? Like, and the first classes I took, kind of classes that were a joke. Like, I was like, I feel like I'm in high school again, right? Like, these classes are so easy. I mean, I think I went to a math class for 2 days. Oh, yeah. And I passed out of the whole thing. Yeah. And so they're like, yeah, you don't need to come back the rest of the semester. And I was like, oh, okay. So, like, it's just stuff like that. And I was like, I want to go for something. And so just seeing all those commercials and just remembering them, I think at one time my parents were like, you had a cousin that did that lived in Lincoln or that lives in Lincoln and stuff. And I said, oh, really? And she goes, yeah, I think she did it for a while she got her degree and stuff like that as kind of a job she could have while she did it. So I was like, oh. And back in the early 2000s, if you remember, I mean, places didn't have websites. Right. Like, I mean, to find a place and look it up, like, it was super difficult.
Yeah.
On the internet.
It's like the beginning of. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually ended up finding the school somehow, some way. And I went out there and I walked in. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about starting school here for it. Like, oh, let's give you a tour. So they gave me a tour. And at this point, I'm still not sure. And they go, well, when do you want to start? And I was like, oh, when can I start? They're like, well, we have a session that starts in a couple weeks. If not, you have to wait till August is when our next session starts. Okay. And I was like, oh, man, okay. I called my parents right away and I said, you know what? How about I just try it? They're like, okay, but this isn't a traditional college. So we had to go to a bank and get like a student loan at a bank.
Oh, sure. Not at a FAFSA.
Yeah. Because it wasn't an accredited college, right? Yeah. And everything. So we did that, got the money. They're like, well, how do you want to do it? And I was like, well, you can pay as you go. And
Mhm.
then if I end up not liking it, just drop out. And
Yeah. Do something else.
then what we've spent is only what we spent. But in those types of schools, when you pay the full tuition, if you drop out halfway through, you don't get the money back.
Right.
Like they keep the full amount for
Yeah.
your full time. So I was like, let's just pay as we go. I started school, and I think within the first couple weeks, I just like something clicked, and I was like, I really liked it.
Mm.
This seems really awesome. And so I told my parents, I called them, I said, hey, send me the rest of the month. Are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to pay for the rest. Like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I don't want a difficult time to come in the year here and me be like, oh, I can just drop out.
Right.
I didn't pay for it. I was like, I want to push through it because I like it enough right now that I want to push through to the end and see where it takes me. So that's kind of how I started. But I mean, I had no clue that what I do now is like what I would be doing.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Well, and for guys that don't know, right? Because I think of like a massage,
Yeah.
right? Like I've, maybe guys have had those. I remember I had a massage one time and the gal was massaging my calves and I'm like super ticklish and I couldn't handle it. So
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I only had this once. But is it like kind of a mix between, because there's also maybe like chiropractors and then like physical therapists that maybe do some of that. And so like, tell us a little bit more about the massage therapy thing, where that fits. Because to me, there's like a fitness kind of interesting like parallel there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know the body really well. I mean, I know like muscles and anatomy and stuff like that. And I've always been really good at that. I don't know why, but I mean, I think in high school, like I think the anatomy part of our class that I took, like I did really good in.
Nice.
Because that's just, I mean, I knew I was an athlete.
Yeah.
So like I knew muscles, I knew how to, and then just trying to learn how to take care of them and everything. I just knew really well. And so, the difference between, chiropractors, I mean, they're more the skeletal.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll do some muscle manipulation. I'm actually like have a chiropractor I kind of work closely with right now, and everything. And he sends a lot of his clients to me and everything like that, his patients to me and everything.
Nice.
And so I've gotten to know him. And the great thing is like I've even gotten chiropractic adjustments from him. He'll like during one point, he'll just like get his thumb and just dig into this muscle and everything. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, but I mean, I know what he's doing because I know how it correlates and everything. Right. So he'll do some muscle manipulation to kind of get stuff to move and adjust a little bit better. Because sometimes, the way I've always seen it is like, if your muscles aren't loose and good, the chiropractic stuff usually won't hold as long, because sometimes it's muscles that are so tight that might be pulling stuff out of alignment, everything like that. And it can be vice versa too. It's like something can be so far out that it's just pulling on your muscles and causing tension and everything like that.
Interesting.
But even he says, like he's told all of his patients, like, hey, go get a massage because it will make my job a lot easier, kind of help things move a little bit more, a little bit easier. Because sometimes if you're just so tense, I mean, he'll try to adjust you and it's not going to go.
Yeah.
Because everything's so tight.
That makes
and
sense.
Everything. So it's like, I've always told a lot of clients, and over the years, I mean, I've just never really, I never had really got a chiropractic adjustment before. Every time I've had a discomfort, like I got a massage and it helped.
Yeah.
I never really had that thing. Now, as I get older, it's a little different.
Yeah.
And so my first actual chiropractic adjustment was actually from this guy I'm working with. And I was like, almost 40 by the time that happened and everything. And so now I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so I get stuff done from him from time to time. And it's been great because now I'm seeing the correlation through it a lot. So now, me and him have the same kind of look at the body of like the muscular and skeletal system together. So we work really well together.
That's
of
really
like
cool.
helping clients out. Right. Now when you get into like physical therapy, they'll do some like massage stuff. I don't think really like a lot of hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
Like they'll use like one of the massage gun thing or something like that. My daughter actually had just went through some PT stuff, actually from Retweet's clinic and stuff like that. One of the gals in there has been worked on her a couple times now with a couple different issues and stuff. And she's used a massage gun. They've done stretching and stuff like that. But like hands-on muscle manipulation, like I don't think they've really done too much of. More of theirs is like, hey, how can we strengthen this area to help this area, right? Like, because they kind of see the muscle dysfunction in an area that's maybe causing the problem. And I know that stuff too. I know like if I see a muscle dysfunction and I can see it. The funny thing is my daughter, like she had this stuff and I just said, hey, this is what's going on. And she's like, no, Dad, that's not what's going on. So we finally get her into a PT and the PT looks at her and tells her what's wrong. And the PT goes, do you have any questions? And she goes, I'm just waiting for my dad to say, I told you so.
Yeah.
Because I told her the exact same thing that PT told her
funny.
and everything. So, you know, I mean, I see all that stuff and I mean, but like, I think it's a good, combination. Like if, you know, you need like physical therapy and stuff like that, it's good to get that stuff done because you need to strengthen those other areas to figure out how to function at a higher level, right? But you still need those muscles and those that skeletal alignment to line up to kind of keep everything in line. So it's like if you get all three of them done, or you know, just even chiropractic and massage done in conjunction of each other, it's like usually a really helpful thing. And I see a lot of stuff and could come from it. You know, like one I have right now, like I see six string a lot. Six string comes in. And he's got his you know, thing with MS and everything, right? So his muscles are really shortened down and tight and everything. And after every time I see him, I'm like, how you feel? He's like, I feel amazing. Like, cause it just helps him a lot more. He can function better, actually, coming to beatdowns better when I've massaged him because it's loosened him up and everything. So I've seen him function at a lot higher level than what he was for a long time. So.
Well, I love it because I also think too, there's like just like a little bit of a misunderstanding, right? Not everything needs the traditional Western medicine, like, you know, because typically you're going to get medication or surgery and that's, you know, at least for me, I'm like, I'd like to start with something less invasive first. But do you think, just to kind of curious and then we can move on, but I just think this is so fascinating. And since you're an expert, I figured I would ask, but like so you're licensed, right? It's a licensed profession.
Yes.
Do you do like insurance and or is it all cash pay or how does that work?
So yeah, no insurance. You know, some insurances recognize massage, some don't. I mean, I don't know what ones do. Never really been on that part. And I know there's a couple guys, Sergeant Pencil reached out to me one time about insurance stuff. And I'm like, well, I just don't do insurance. Like we've never dealt with insurance. So I was like, if you can get your insurance company to do it, like I can provide any documentation you need to submit to them. Right.
Or you could probably have like your flex
spending or the health savings accounts. Some of them do it. Like you just have to research to see if it is covered and everything, or if it's a covered cost and everything. But some of them do. And like I said, I usually can provide any documentation people need to submit to get refunded for it. But now this is just and I don't know if this is the reason or not. But when I was in school, one of the teachers in school there said, so I think someone asked about massage and insurance. Right? And she said that she had been a massage therapist for years at that point. I mean, she was probably in her 60s, right? And she had been a massage therapist for years. And she said, well, of what I understand from it, massage will never probably recognize insurance and everything. And she said at the time, and I don't know if this is true or not, that they got that recommendation from the chiropractic.
Oh, sure.
And everything. Because supposedly they said the worst thing they ever did was get involved with insurance. Right. Because it just takes so long to get recovered that pay from that.
Then you sort of have somebody dictating your practice, right? Which is, that's
and everything. So now you see some chiropractors will just go to cash only and everything and not do insurance. And it's usually cheaper. And everything. So,
well, even like now I feel like there's like a lot of concierge medicine even too, where like skip the insurance plan, pay like an executive physician and they'll, and then you have, I was just talking to a friend of mine about this. He's like, the idea of having your doctor's cell phone number and being able to just text him seem pretty appealing.
Right?
So I would guess, so like if a guy's in the gloom and is working out,
Mhm.
has some muscle tension,
Yeah.
or is that it would be a good time to reach out to you, or more of a preventive thing? What's your
Yeah, yeah. I
thought?
mean, I see guys that do it. I don't really kind of try to push,
Yeah,
like be like, hey, come in and see me, come in and see me. Um, I tell them like, I mean, I can help you out if you need. Like,
yeah,
if you want, I'm like, but if not, I mean, here's some things you can do to help it,
yeah,
right? And I'll kind of give some advice and stuff like that.
yep,
I've done it quite a bit. I know like Hard Hat was having some foot issues or like
yeah,
Achilles tendonitis, I think is what it was.
yeah,
And I've dealt with that actually working out. And
yeah.
so I'm like, well, hey, here's some
Like plantar
try.
fasciitis kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Is it?
plantar
Yeah.
fasciitis. It's just
Okay.
in a different spot. It hurts in
Yeah.
a different spot and everything. But usually the treatment's all the same
Yeah.
and everything. And I just tell them like, yeah, here's some things you do. I mean, if you need some help, I can help you out
Yeah.
and everything. Just let me know,
Okay.
and then I just let them dictate it from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people have like a different opinions about massage
Sure.
and what it can involve and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
I've noticed over the years, and I don't take offense of it, but more people try not to, or they'll be like, "Oh, you're a guy doing
Yeah.
I don't want to go into a guy," and I'm like, "Well, it's not like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm, I go, I can get you fixed up pretty good,
Right. Yeah.
but you just have to not think as it like that." I was like, I've even told people sometimes like your doctor will probably see more parts of you than I do, right? Like,
Right. Yep.
so I'm like, I can help you out. But it's just if people are willing to
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I've never made it a point to like push to it and be like, keep saying, I just keep asking them, hey, how you feeling? Have you tried this or that,
Yep.
and everything. And so yeah.
I
So
love it.
it's kind of like that.
I can identify with you there as a male
Yeah.
nurse, right? I think
Yeah.
I get a lot. I used to when I was in, doing clinicals and stuff.
Yeah.
I would always get the patient that's like, I don't want a male
Yeah,
nurse.
right.
Some people are weirded
Yep.
out by it, some people aren't. What last thing I would ask you about that? What's the name of your business or website if guys are hearing this thinking they need your help?
Yeah. So Active Wellness Massage Therapy.
Okay.
It's on Vigaro.
Okay.
Is the site I kind of run my site through,
Okay.
or my booking systems through Vigaro,
Okay.
and everything. And it's just Active Wellness Massage Therapy.
Awesome.
It's online booking. People can reach out to me. I mean, you can find my number on FaxNet.
Yeah.
So people can reach out to me and stuff like that. Like I said, I've had probably a dozen guys or more come in at least once and everything. They were having an issue and called me up. It's like, hey, can you get me in? And I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Well, I love it, and I know maybe we're trying to get more of your story, but I just love because it is part of your story,
Yeah.
right? I kind of heard you say a while back, right? You grew up as an athlete, and that sort of maybe spurred on this interest in the body and all that.
Yeah.
Talk me through, like, from a fitness perspective. So you grew up as an athlete.
Yeah.
Would love for you to remind me where you're from because you mentioned Western Nebraska, but talk us through kind of that journey, and then would love to hear like how are you doing today on the sort of fitness side of things? Are you where you want to be?
Yeah. So I mean, growing up, I grew up in Kimball, Nebraska. It's kind of like right in the corner of the Panhandle, about 15 miles from the Colorado border, about 20 miles from the Wyoming border.
That's like out where there's some golf courses out there, right? Like Sand Hills and some of those are nearby, kind of. Okay.
Yeah, pretty close. But it's just like right on I-80. It's like the last exit before you get to Wyoming.
I think I got a speeding ticket near Kimball once.
Yeah, you probably yeah. So I grew up in a small town. I mean, like a couple thousand people, right?
Yeah.
I said I always know you're from a small town when you have to drive an hour to go to a Walmart,
right?
Like you have to drive an hour to go to Walmart or a mall or anything like that. We don't have anything like that in our hometown. So, but yeah, I was an athlete. I did basketball. Basketball was my main sport. I did football. Some I had I broke my hand in before my senior year of high school, and so I couldn't play football that season and everything. I did some track and stuff like that. So physically, I could run like for days. Like right,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're young and you could run for days, right? You never get tired. And then after high school, I just got lazy. Right, just got lazy and tried doing some workout stuff every once in a while in college, but nothing really stuck. Just had a lot of time, going out with friends and, partying and stuff like that because that's just
What
college,
you do. Yeah.
right?
That's
College,
what you're supposed
right?
to do.
It's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
So, and then, me and my wife get married. We moved to Omaha. Like I said, I've known Long Neck for a long time, and me and Long Neck, and then another guy that's come out before, he hasn't come out in a long time, Wilson.
Okay.
Me and us three, we'd go to the Y
Oh,
at
yeah.
like 6 o'clock in the morning. This was probably our late 20s, I think, maybe early 30s.
Because did you know him from college, or you just knew him like from the neighborhood?
Neighborhood, yeah.
Okay.
He just moved in and
Nice.
met him like, at one point, and then we just hung out all the time, and we had kids around the same age and all that stuff. So I mean,
That's cool.
then, just kind of get close and start doing stuff together and hanging out a lot. So, but yeah, we started working out and did that for probably about a year. And then, like I'm a big March Madness guy because basketball was my sport. At that point, it was like got to March and I just started watching basketball till late at night. Like, hey, you going to work out in the morning? I was like, no, I'm too tired. So I wouldn't and everything. But it's just like your age and you're just like, oh, I'm not going to go do it. I'm just want to watch this and everything. Right.
Yeah.
So then fast forward to like, when it came out, started working out. Like it was, I mean, I've been in over 3 years now or whatever. And I pushed myself quite a bit for those first couple years and everything. Had some injuries I had to work through and stuff like that. But and when you go from nothing to everything, right?
Yeah.
So I got through the injuries and stuff like that, and I started feeling good. And then, I say I know I made it when I first started. You'll like this one. When I first started, I knew I was in shape when I could make it through one of your workouts.
Oh yeah.
Your workouts was like the pinnacle right there. Like, right. Like I would,
they've gotten easier, I think.
Yeah.
As I'm getting older, I feel like.
I think I remember one at the maze. We were doing stuff on the hill over there, kind of on the east side there. Right. Yeah. And oh man, I know we were doing burpees and I don't know, doing a bunch of reps and stuff. And oh man, I was like, I think after that workout, I came home. My wife's like, "How'd it go this morning?" I was like, "That is the hardest thing I've done in many, many years."
Everything, right? You would say that.
Right.
There's some guys with harder workouts, but
So, but that's when I was like, I even said, I was like, when I can get through a plague workout, that's when I hit my pinnacle of like,
nice.
Like, hey, I've made myself. I'm in shape again, right? So, but I mean, all the time, I just kind of over the years, I'm just trying to push myself to just get better with stuff. Now, like health wise, like I have high cholesterol or triglycerides as a fact. So the biggest thing they always tell me is like diet and exercise, right?
Yeah.
The diet thing never really happens. And for a long time, the exercise never happened.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting to see. I haven't actually, I just got my blood drawn this morning. I had it drawn last week, but something happened with the labs and they got left out or whatever. So I had to come in today and redraw. I'm actually interested because I haven't got my labs checked since before I started F3.
Okay.
So I'm kind of interested to see where all those numbers are.
Do you have to take medication for the cholesterol? Or?
No, not yet. It's high, but not like that high.
Okay.
My doctor, she likes actually to kind of go to the more alternative stuff first before medication and everything. And so that's what I've liked about it. So
that's awesome.
So she's like, no, we won't. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
And everything. So we'll see how the numbers come in,
now
awesome. And see what happens.
I'll be curious. You'll have to let me know. Because there have been a few guys like with blood pressure or cholesterol stuff where, you start exercising and then, tell me about, when you think about you mentioned the diet part, that's a struggle for me. What have you tried anything, Queen Service or anything there? Or?
I've never tried Queen Service. I don't know, like the whole diet thing to me is always interesting because it's like, you diet for so long and then you stop it. And so then you just do that.
Yeah.
What do we call it? The yo-yo, right?
Yeah.
We call it the yo-yo.
Yep.
So I mean, I feel like that's just what it's going to be is the yo-yo. I feel like it just needs to be more of like a lifestyle change, right? Like you got to consistently do it or it's not going to work and everything like that. So for me, I just kind of try to maybe watch how much I'm eating, portion control. Every once in a while, you kind of get out of control with the portion, stuff like that. Usually around the holidays and stuff like that. But I try to do my best and I fluctuate. And going in, I mean, I never really thought I needed to lose weight. I just needed to be in more shape, right?
Yeah.
So I've actually not really lost any weight. I fluctuate I mean, anywhere from probably 200 to, I mean, I think I was like over 215 when I started.
Yep.
And I'm usually about 200 to 210.
You're also tall though. You're
Yeah.
6'3", 6'4".
6'2".
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6'2".
But taller.
So
Yeah.
so taller. So I've never really felt like I needed to lose weight.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes I just overindulge and
Yeah.
you gain the weight. So,
well, this time of year at the holidays, and then I cannot, anytime I'm around pizza,
yeah.
for whatever reason, it's like I have to have 5 or 6 slices.
Right,
like I'm
right.
like, what is it about pizza?
Yeah,
I can't just have 2 slices, or maybe
Right.
even one slice would
One
be.
slice, yeah.
Well, I love it. It's definitely, it's one of those things that I think is like, we would all love to be able to out king our queen. You know, if you've heard that term, but the older I'm getting, the more I'm like, maybe it's true that it's not possible to do that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I kind of like the only thing I've found that has stuck is intermittent fasting.
Okay.
Basically, which is like, I basically coffee and water up until like late afternoon, and basically don't start eating till 3:30. Which the challenge with something like that is then once you open the floodgates, like it just you can't stop eeting.
Yep. Right. Yep.
Would love to hear your thoughts on like the fellowship side of things. So as you think about, because you're not from here, right? And then you went to college in Lincoln, and then you show up here in town. Would love to kind of hear like how you've built relationships over the years, and even like the neighborly relationship. That seems rare to me, but
I know everyone seems it's weird. Because so I mean, where I live now, like growing up had friends, had college. Me and my wife have been together since high school.
Oh, cool.
So we had college friends and stuff like that. A lot of them are closer. Me and my wife have always been a step ahead of like all of our friend groups. I mean, we got married at 22.
Yeah.
Right. We had kids at 26.
Yeah.
Started having kids at 26. A lot of the people I know, a lot of the guys I went to college with and, hung out with, all that stuff, they didn't start getting married until their late 20s, like when I was having kids.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're just now having kids and my kids are older. Right. So we've always been a step ahead. So like the fellowship with them, like I was always friends with them and everything like that. But they're all on the same stage, right? So they hang out a lot more than what I do with them, right? And it's happened like that over the years. I know them, but there's like I'm close with them, but not like so close like they are, right?
Just have less in common,
less in common and stuff, different stages of life and everything, right? And so going to the neighborhood, I mean, I actually have ton of guys and fellowship stuff that I had over the year, right? I mean, a lot of the people I know and we did stuff with was through my friend, my wife.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's coworkers. She's a teacher.
Yep.
Her coworkers, some of her male coworkers and stuff like that. I've did a few things with, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And then like Long Neck moved in, and actually DeVito, who's come out, he's our neighbor too. So the three of us would do stuff quite a bit together and hang out. And it's just funny, like the neighborhood thing. We live on B Street, right? And we always call it the B Street crew, and everything like that, because like on a Friday night, Friday afternoon, when the weather's nice, it was like Long Neck and his wife, DeVito and his wife, me and my wife, and some of the other neighbors, right? We'd just hang out in the driveway while the kids are just running all over this neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Between houses, down up and down the street, playing outside.
That's cool.
Right? And it was like an every Friday thing. And we'd meet some people from the neighborhood and we'd be like, oh yeah, come over to B Street. Like, see how it is. They're looking at you like, what you're talking about. You're like crazy. Like our neighbors don't do this.
Yeah.
And so they'd come over and they'd be like, wow, this is different and everything. And I mean, I grew up in a small town, so you knew all your neighbors, right? And you knew them really well.
Yeah.
So to me, it was never weird because I mean, I was just how it was.
Did you do like the fire pit in the driveway?
Oh yeah. We had the fire pit going. Long Neck would throw a movie on his garage and everything like that. The kids would just love it. And we'd watch baseball games or football games, off a projector on the garage or in a garage and just hang out.
That's
so yeah, it's been, so, I mean, like DeVito, Long Neck, and then, another guy I know, like I've done stuff with over the years is a girl we went to high school with. She's a year older than us, but her and her husband live here in town.
Oh, cool.
And we knew her pretty good from high school and everything. So we've got to know them pretty good, and hang out with them a lot. And so I would golf with him quite a bit and just do stuff like that. Nice. But that's kind of all the fellowship really.
Mm.
Now coming in F3, my daughter thinks it's funny because when I started doing it and we're out and everything and everyone's like, "Hey, Smelly,"
Yeah.
and everyone's like kind of giving you this look like,
Yeah.
what? Like, and I was
Yeah.
like, the kids are like, "Oh gosh, Dad, like, why do you have to have that,
Yeah.
name right now?" But, she just, one day she goes, "Dad, you used to not have very many friends.
Yeah.
Now you have a lot."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I know a lot more guys now, right?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I think like the fellowship through F3 is amazing. I mean, I got to know a lot of amazing guys, a lot of great conversations and stuff like that. Um, and the cool thing is you always have someone. I feel like you always just have someone new
Yeah.
to try to connect with. With like one, I mean, I've kind of fallen off a little bit. My daughter is in marching band in high school, and I helped out with that. And it
It's
was a
super busy. Yeah.
long 6 weeks, and I didn't come out very much. And so now I'm trying to get back in the swing of things, coming out, but it hasn't been that much. Um, but I've done a couple pre-runs since then, and actually the 2 pre-runs I've done since coming back out, I've done with Bollywood.
Oh yeah.
And I've
Great
never
guy.
talked to
Yeah.
Bollywood,
Yeah.
and
Great
so now
guy.
I've talked to him on a couple pre-runs, and we've had some good little conversations and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, so just getting to know all the guys and um, meet new people and all the second F events that we can do. I like doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just hang out with all the guys and everything has been great. So I feel like the fellowship now is a lot more than I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
love it. It is fun to see guys out in the wild, right, as they say,
Yeah.
and call them by their nickname. And who was the other guy I ran into? Good looking. I don't know if you know him at all, but that's a fun one to say out in the store because people are sort of like, "What? What are you talking about?" Of course, anytime people hear the plague, they're sort of like they assume COVID and
right.
So that's always
Right.
always fun too. But what and I suppose being friends with Longneck, I don't know if he's sort of because he does a lot of the coordination for these second events. I don't know if
I
he's
get messages all the time
dragging you out to those. But how did you go about like getting to know guys? Do you feel have you been just sort of outgoing and ask questions, or how is that?
Yeah, so I've kind of doing beatdowns, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of going, and as much as you can, you try to conversate and everything, and you're just maybe if you're running, you're just like, "Oh, hey, who brought you out? What brought you out? Who brought you out?" and everything, and just kind of go through that. And then you just start to get to know each other a little bit more, and just the more you like work out with each other, the more in depth you can go and everything. And I think that's just kind of how I've done it. Just see a guy I don't know. Oh, hey, how's it going? You're like kind of sticking with them, and if they're kind of at that level with you, and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to run with you because you seem like you're at the level with me right now.
Yeah.
So and you just get to know guys through that. So that's kind of how I've done it.
Yeah. I would be curious as you think about like other F3. So in this fellowship space, right, we talked about like the Concentric, sort of like that relationship with your wife, your kids, and like shield lock, that sort of thing. But how has F3 impacted those relationships? Have you noticed any difference there, or any impact on the Concentrica?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I mean, I feel like I've changed a little bit. I mean, a lot of guys talk about it, right? You become a better father, husband, stuff like that. You just see things in different ways, especially when you're listening to other guys talk. Through like QSource or whatever, right? That's what I did a lot when they first started, and just hearing all those guys talk about stuff. You just start like rethinking things, right? You're like, oh, okay. So yeah, the Concentrica, like, I mean, I've started, like, I've never really helped out with school stuff. But this year I was like, you know what? Like, my daughter's in marching band. Maybe I should help out. Maybe I should volunteer and help out. So I started doing that and everything. So I was around all of her stuff like this whole year.
Nice.
Which was really cool. Kind of seeing her, fresh into high school and everything, and just seeing her transition into that. And just being really close to it. Because I was behind the scenes a lot with everything. So I was around the kids a lot and got to see her interact and stuff like that. So it's been great. And then my son, like he loves coming out. Like he's come out quite a bit. He hasn't come out that much in the last probably year or two. But he likes to come out when he can. When we can make it work and everything. I know a few times on his birthday. His birthday's in the middle of February,
Yeah.
which could be a snowy day, but it never has on his birthday yet. And one day, I know it always correlates around tea parties,
Oh yeah.
anniversary date.
Yeah.
And so 1 year it was actually on his birthday. It was his cue. So we came out
Nice.
and everything. And so that's what he wanted to do. He said, Dad, I want to work out for my birthday. So I
That's
want to
cool.
go out to beatdown. So I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. And everything. So but if I see tea party on like a thing around that time, I'm always like, hey, what do you want to go out? Because I know it's always his anniversary date.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
and he's a guy I got to know pretty good over the years too. So,
Heck yeah.
so yeah,
I love it. Remind me, so your daughter's freshman?
freshman.
And
Yeah.
then how old's your son?
He's a 7th grader.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I love it. It's so cool to see like when kids can come out and also just like
Yeah.
I think Rizzo, who's
Yeah.
Bogey's son,
Yeah.
right, came out on his birthday to the
Yeah.
maze, and we gave him the Mighty Mazer. and
Yeah.
those are just some cool
Yeah.
moments, right? I think it's just
Yes.
really cool. But
Yep.
what about Shield Lock? Have you had a chance? Are you guys
Yeah.
in a Shield Lock kind of there in the neighborhood, or not really? Or?
No, not really. I mean, Long Neck had been in his shield lock.
Yeah.
His what was it?
The
We
12,
call it 12
yeah.
person shield lock, right?
Yeah.
But no, I never. I mean, I kind of explored it for a while there
Mhm.
and tried to connect with some guys and stuff like that, and didn't want to force anything or
Yeah.
didn't want to force it.
Yep.
So, but nothing just happened organically or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, so I never really got into shield lock.
Yeah.
I feel like almost, I mean, when I need to get motivation, I mean, right now I reach out to like Long Neck
Yeah.
or even Steeple.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
text those two and be like, hey, because they're always together,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, hey, where are you guys going? Like, what are you doing this week? And so they'll kind of send out
Yeah.
where they're going, and I'm like, okay, and then I can kind of make a plan and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So nothing like a superficial shield block or anything. Like
Yeah.
that, but
It's so common, right, that guys aren't in a formal shield lock, but still have the
Yeah.
relationships with accountability and
yes,
guys that can kind of motivate you to get
Yeah.
out. And, so it's like we have a lot of informal shield locks, which I think is totally fine and
Yeah.
probably the way that works.
yeah,
Yo, Gloom listeners, it's your boy, The Plague. Let me talk to you about our brother, Amazin, a.k.a. Patrick McNamara with McNamara Law Firm right here in Old Town Elkhorn. Amazin serves as outside counsel for small business owners, helping to form contracts, review agreements, and provide practical advice that keeps you focused on growth. He also works with families to create living trusts that protect your kids and safeguard what you've built. Reach out to our brother Amazin today at McNamara Law Firm and start putting the right plan in place for your business, your family, and your future. Would love to hear, as you're thinking about, so Fitness Fellowship Faith,
Yeah.
would love to hear kind of what's your journey been like on the third F or the faith piece. What's kind of life been like there?
So yeah, so I mean, went to church growing up, right? Like, I'm a Lutheran. Me and my wife actually went to the same church
Oh, cool.
growing up. Our families did and everything like that. So we kind of know stuff similar, right? So it's pretty nice that you didn't have to like, hey, what religion are you? Like where do you have to choose then, right?
Yep.
I know some guys have to do that, right? Because once you
Yeah.
get married, it's like, hey, what do we want to do and everything. And so we both were the same church, right? So we founded church here in Omaha, and when we moved down here, and growing up though, like I mean, I went to church. I started, like the thing to get confirmed
Mhm.
and everything. And I kind of stopped because it was kind of like you did stuff, and then in your grade year or something
Yeah,
like
you
that,
go through like confirmation.
confirmation
Yeah.
and stuff
Yep.
like that. And I kind of I dropped out. Like my
Mm.
parents gave me a option, and I was just like, I was a kid at that point. I was just like, yeah, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I never got confirmed at that time as a kid. My wife did and everything. But kind of getting older and stuff like that. And when we found a church here in Omaha, I did like member classes
Oh, yeah.
to become like a member of the church and everything like that.
Nice.
So kind of did it a different way, but
Yeah.
I kind of still got there. So,
Yep.
but we go to a church. I don't feel like we're as consistent right now. Our church, like probably about a year ago, had a pastor that we've had. He's been at least a vicar or some kind of pastor, and even then the head pastor at our church since we started
Okay.
and everything.
Where are you guys at, if you don't mind?
So it's oh gosh, now I'm blanking out. Beautiful Savior
Oh yeah.
over in La
Yeah.
Vista.
Yeah. We were there for a while. Yeah.
So it's a ways away from my house, but
Yeah.
yeah, so we go way over there, but he was a great pastor, and he just moved to Kansas City
Yep.
like a little over a
Pastor
year ago.
Ryan, right?
Pastor Ryan, yep.
And now you've got a new guy over there.
Yeah, new guy over there. So it's kind of like one of those things. Like, I mean, it's not like we want to go see him. I mean, he seems like we went to one service already, but like I said, October was kind of a wash for us because of my daughter's marching band stuff. We'd get home late Saturday night, like really late, like midnight, 1 o'clock, and everything. Or we would be from out of town competitions. We'd be driving home on Sunday, so we could just never get to the services.
Yep.
So we kind of try to get back into the swing of things. And I mean, my kids are doing youth group at church there and everything. So they go every Sunday. They have it on Sunday nights and everything. So they go not every Sunday, but we're trying to get them back into going on Sundays and stuff like that. So it's kind of that ebb and flow thing of doing it. But I mean, me, like, you know, I do it, but I'm kind of more of a quiet, like with the religion part of it, right? Like I'm not like really outspoken with it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, do all the stuff, try to go to church, you know, try to do all that stuff and get the kids doing all their stuff. But I think the first time I've actually said a prayer out loud in a group was actually in F3.
Oh, wow.
And for the longest time, I would always just, after my beatdowns, I would just call on someone to do a prayer, right? And everything. And then finally I started doing the prayers, right? And so that's the first time ever doing anything like that. And it was, through F3. I mean, you start feeling more comfortable with it and stuff. So, I mean, I think my journey still has to keep going. My wife is in like a Bible study class. I've tried. I mean, I've filled out some information there, but never got contacted for anything like that because I don't think anyone lives on my side of town,
right?
Or anything like that. So yeah, it's just never been connected through that yet. Yeah,
we were at Beautiful Savior through the pandemic, and then we switched over to St. Mark on like 90th and Blondo, which is still a drive. It's not as far south as Beautiful Savior, but yeah, we loved it there. I think Stella goes there too, if you know him. But yeah, it's so cool. I love that you mentioned sort of the being on the same page with your wife, right? I think that is super key, right? As we're trying to lead your family. But what you also mentioned QSource, and I don't know if you like, sometimes I do feel like QSource kind of helps have some of those third F kind of conversations, but what was your experience with that?
Yeah. So actually, I think the craziest thing was, I think the first time I led QSource, it was about faith.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I had never really been, and I actually even started it like, I mean, I said my faith, I mean, I like go to church. I was like, I go to church, but I've never really been like in depth, deep into it, right?
Yeah.
So like I was kind of like out of my, you know, comfort zone at that time, and so I had the other guys I tried to lead it a little bit, but I didn't lead it too much because this is not where I'd been mostly. But QSource, I mean, QSource was, I think you get a little bit of that type of thing.
Yeah.
The QSource, especially hearing guys talk and everything. Like I said with that too, I've always been like more of a listener and not much of a contributor talking.
Sure.
I feel like that's just more how I am. Like I like to listen more than actually like talk about stuff. But I feel like some guys got better advice and stories and stuff like that than I have. I mean, I just don't feel like I have those stories and that kind of compare to that or anything like that to listen to, right? Like I'm like, I mean, what have I done? I mean, I started a business and it was tough, right? But it gets better, but it always be better, right?
Yeah.
And the confidence that I've gotten through F3 helped me do that, right? And probably through QSource help and all that stuff and everything. So
I love it. I love just the connection there, right? I would be curious because kind of the next thing I was going to ask you about is like leadership and sort of, talk through some of the leadership opportunities like your VQ and then leading the site. And I would be curious, like what did you gain from those experiences? Was it confidence? Were there other things? So talk us through that.
Yeah. So through the VQ, I did at the Maze. Actually, Lightbright came to me first. and was like, "Hey, my ultimate goal is to get you on at Fancy Feast,
Okay.
just because of the name,
Yeah.
right, and
Yep.
everything." And I said, "Well, I mean, I appreciate that, but I kind of want to do my first one at the Maze where I kind of was EH'd at."
Yeah.
He's like, "That's not a problem." So I did it at the Maze. But I mean, I think the first day I did it, it was I think the feel like temperature was like 0 or -2
Oh no.
or something like that. A
Yeah.
little bit of snow on
Yeah.
the ground and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I don't think, I mean, I didn't have I mean, at that point, I think it was in January, I think,
Uh-huh.
around that time. And I mean, there's not as big a group as when it's nice,
It's
right?
yeah,
As some,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was a little bit more like a smaller one, which I was totally fine with because
Yeah.
you know, like at some point, you know, you get like 50 some guys
It's
at a
hard to lead
VQ.
that
It's
many
kind of hard to
guys.
lead
Yep.
that and everything
Yep.
like that. And I've seen that over the time, right? So doing that, I mean, it was amazing. And then you know, started queuing quite a bit after that. So it was kind of helped build that confidence. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think you build confidence, stuff like that each time you do something. And then taking the site at main stage, it was fun to kind of help guys, right? Kind of help guys
Mhm.
with their journey if they came in, right? And you kind of just, you know, keep leading to kind of help them. And I always liked the one thing where they're like, you know, we pick up the 6, but what our ultimate goal is to bring the 6 up with us
Yeah.
and everything,
Yeah.
right? Bring them forward. So I always liked doing that. Go back and get the 6, or just stay with the 6 and try, you know, pushing them to get
Heck yeah.
better each time.
Yeah.
Trying to lead that way and everything. So
I love it. I always love
Yeah.
when if you go back to get the 6 and there are a couple guys that like being the 6, and if
Yeah.
you know, they can kind of feel you running
Yep.
behind them, kind of push them a little bit.
Yep,
There's a
yep.
couple guys that'll say, "You're not going to get me."
Yeah,
real
no, you give me
fast."
you're right.
What so your time as a site Q,
Yeah.
how was that? Do you feel like you learned a lot there? Or,
Oh, yeah.
because you were so main stage before you was a co-Q,
Yeah,
right?
coaching.
And
Yep.
then you took it
Yep.
over. You basically
Yeah.
decided you could do the work of 2 guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, actually, so it was supposed to be me and Switchfoot.
Oh, okay.
But when they kind of were doing that, and I think at one time, before that all kind of became official, because Baby Shoes and Urkel asked, "Hey, would you be cool having you and Switchfoot doing it?" Yeah, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
so, but then Switchfoot got asked by Sweet Sweet,
Yeah. Yep.
right? So he's like, "Hey, I don't want to leave you hanging, but you know,
Yeah.
I think I might do the one here." I was like, "No, man, go ahead, do it. That's a
Yeah.
great opportunity for you and everything." So they're like, "Hey, do you want to co-queue?" And I was like, I think I can do it myself. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think I'll be fine
Yeah.
and everything. And now I see there's like, I mean, I see sometimes the thing for co-queues.
Yeah.
There's a certain scenarios that co-queues are good. And then there's some like me, I don't travel a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in town. I mean, I think I missed one day the entire year I had the flag.
Yeah.
And actually I went and dropped the flag off. I was super sick.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the first time I like missed an actual beatdown
Yeah.
at main stage and
Nice.
everything. So it wasn't like a lack of trying. I just don't travel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right. And especially
Yeah.
the middle of the week on Wednesday, right? You're never
Yeah.
like going anywhere hardly. So I was always there.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I can do it. Like, I'm not gonna be gone and all that stuff that much. So
Yeah.
yeah. So but yeah, so the co-queue, and then when I went to look to pass it, I think probably one of the coolest beatdowns I did at main stage was actually Mo's queue.
Mm.
It was a blizzard,
Mm-hmm.
some snow on the ground. It was just me and him,
Oh, okay.
and we did the workout that he planned, and it was a plan for a group of guys,
Yeah.
right? But he was like, "Oh, let's just modify." Yeah, oh, yeah, modified. Let's do it. So we did it, and I think that's kind of where I got to know Mo a little bit more. I kind of get to know him a little bit through like disco and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is where he had been some, and so, and then at that point, I was, you know, you start kind of looking and you think of guys to take over. I think that's when I really started being, you know what? I think Mo could do it. But everyone thought Mo had been a site Q already
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. I was like, well, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, getting Mo the flag, I think was good. He had a lot of questions about it, but
Yeah.
I got him.
I got to queue there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I got a mug.
Yeah, you got a mug.
I got
know,
the-
he told me, he's like, you got to come back and queue main stage, get your mug. And I was like, I'll get on, don't worry.
Yeah. Well, you should get one as like a site Q emeritus.
I know, right? Right.
Yeah.
Or I could get one when he puts me on the queue before the flag minutes or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, I love it, and it's so cool to hear, because I think, like you mentioned, right, you're not like the in your face sort
Yeah.
of loud guy. So for
Yeah.
you to unpack your journey and your story
Yeah.
has been really, really cool. I
Yeah.
I would be curious, like as you think back on the years, maybe in F3 or maybe not, but
Mhm.
just any like advice or lessons learned or things like as guys are listening and just trying to be better, like
Yeah.
what would you share like from your life? What would you say are some of the key learnings or maybe the key learning that you would
Oh,
share with guys?
man. So, I don't know. Well, that's a tough one. Um, you know, I'm a guy that, it's motivated by, setting goals,
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm.
Um, I had those goals through F3 and right now I don't have any.
Mm,
So I feel like that's kind of, you know, not getting me out as much. I think
yeah.
once I can figure out a goal that I want to try to achieve, then I'll maybe get out a little bit more
Yeah.
and kind of keep it consistent. Um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, sometimes just like try to think of ways that you can try to move forward in your fitness journey or even move forward in like the fellowship, like, trying to go to a few more second F events or,
Yeah.
just trying to make the one every once in a while. I
Mm,
mean, and just try to get those relationships outside of the gloom too.
yeah.
I feel like that's where I've kind of started to grow a little bit more is having a few more of those relationships, like doing the second F events, not in the, or on a weekend or a night or whatever. Eh, now it's when I can make them, right?
Yeah.
I used to go quite a bit. Now it's like, you got family stuff going on. So sometimes I don't make them as much, but um, I always feel better when I'm around guys from F3.
Yeah.
I feel just more energized and more ready to do stuff.
Yeah.
So just trying to, you know, just figure out those things that can make you, kind of move forward and maybe feel better
Love it.
in a day. So
Yeah, I love it. I think with, and it's always tough with kids, right? It's like
yeah,
figuring out what the best time, but I think trying to prioritize, like, even if it's like one a month or
yeah,
a quarter or, start
yeah,
somewhere. I know that's, from my experience, like even just hitting one of those, every so often is really kind of can take some of those relationships to the next level, right?
yeah,
It's sort of like there's a lot that you can build in the gloom, but I think, showing up, and I know there's a
yeah,
ton of stuff that a whole team of guys putting
yeah,
on different activities. Love
yeah.
it. Where would you say, like, as you think about current state, what's going on in life? I know, it's December right now. I don't, by the time guys are hearing this, it may not be, maybe January or so,
Yeah.
but we're just thinking current state, where do you need prayers or support or encouragement when guys
Oh,
see you out there? What should they
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah,
check in
yeah.
with you on?
So, I mean, I would say prayers for the business thing for sure,
Yeah.
because, you know, like I said, sometimes you hit some slow times, and
Yeah.
when you're self-employed, those slow times are kind of like, oh, you start rethinking things, you start trying to doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Um, the stuff like that. I mean, I try not to think like that because I know it's going to take time.
Hmm.
Those doubts creep in,
Yeah.
right? Oh, is this the thing I should be doing? Like,
Hmm.
oh, do I need to look for something else, right? But prayers for that for sure, because like I used to feel like I need, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of prayers, just to kind of keep me going
Yeah.
and everything. And then yeah, I mean, sometimes like just seeing if I'm getting out. I mean, some guys will do it, and then they'll motivate me to get out the next day, and stuff like that. They're like,
Hmm.
"Hey, where are you going tomorrow?" Okay, I'll see you there tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So, encouragement, just to, I mean, I'm trying to get out as much as possible. But sometimes I feel like me, the accountability thing's the huge thing, right?
Hmm.
Trying to get out more accountability,
Yeah.
and that's when I feel like I get out more is when another person's like, "Yeah, I'm going to go here. You want to come?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And then I feel like, okay, I have to go.
Yeah.
You're right. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Heck,
just encourage me to get out.
yeah.
maybe say, "Hey, where are you going tomorrow? I'll
Yeah.
meet you there." Right?
It's amazing, right? Just a simple
So,
text of like,
yes,
here's where I'm going. Join me.
yeah,
I
yep,
think I'm the same way. It's a lot easier, especially when it's cold out, right? It's easy
yeah.
to stay in bed or
It
stay in the
is.
in the
It
warm
is.
house.
It is. Yes.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you taking time to just share your journey and your story, and would encourage you guys to
Yeah.
go reach out. I feel
Yeah.
enlightened in terms of the
Yeah.
sort of the meta, just like another layer of like help that guys could get.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
hear
That's
somebody
right.
saying, "Oh, my back hurts," or my,
Yeah.
you know, um, you might be a spot, right? That they should check in with and see what you can do
I mean,
for them, so.
and trust me, it's not going to be, you can have 6-string. It's not going to be one of those like relaxing massages. Like there might be some discomfort. Like, I'm a guy that's like, I'm going to work things out. We're going to work it out a certain way and everything. And however we need to do that, it might have some uncomfortableness. It's not going to be that little, we always call it like foo-foo massage, right? Like it's not going to be relaxing. It's going to be some discomfort probably. So,
I love it. We could come up with a commerchil or something about that, right? Well, let's do a little Namo here to wrap us up. Brandon Fleehardy, 39, The Plague.
Chris Lantzer, 40, Smelly Cat.
Smelly Cat. What are they feeding you? If guys haven't seen that, I'm sure you could YouTube or Google the clip of Phoebe singing.
I think I tweet it out all the time when I queue.
So I love it. I appreciate you, man. Have a good day.
Thanks.
On our hands, hope in our chest. We're not defined by the weight of the test. Brothers in step, we carry the flame. Different roads, but the heartbeat's the same. Every man's got a story to tell. From the valley low to the mountaintop, yeah. Every man's got a story inside. Standing strong, we won't hide. Every man, every man's got a story. We've been broken, we've been bruised, but we rise again and we don't get to choose. Through the fire, through the fight, every man's story burns in the night. Scars on our hands, hope in our chest. We're not defined by the weight of the test. Brothers in step, we carry the flame. Different roads, but the heartbeat's the same. On a story to tell, from the valley low to the mountaintop yell. Every man's got a story inside. Different roads, but the heartbeat's the same. Every man's got a story to tell. From the valley low to the mountaintop hill. Every man's got a story inside. Standing strong, we won't hide. Every man, every man's got a story. Every man's got a story. Voices rise like thunder, they roll. Truth in the pain, it's shaping the soul. Chains may rattle, but they break in time. Every man's story is yours and mine. From the struggle to the glory, every man's got a story. In the dark or in the light, we keep marching through the night. Every man's got a story inside. Every man's got a story to tell. From the valley low to the mountaintop hill. Every man to the mountaintop hill.